Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys of Magic. This is Hunter, David, and Shane. Say what up, boys.
What's going on?
What up, nerds?
Welcome back. It is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Another day of spoilers. For Modern Horizons 3, that's right, we are still trekking along in the modern world that can also be played elsewhere, aka Commander. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that we only talk about the rares and mythics of this set that are not reprints. That's right. If you wanted to see all of the spoilers, check the link in the description below for our Instagram. We post them all. However, we are doing something a little different because most of the rares today actually were reprints, so we did sprinkle in a couple uncommons and a common. So we will talk about those. But let's talk about this first card. It is called Guide of Souls. It is 1 white mana for a 1/2 creature human cleric. It says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and you gain an energy counter. It also says whenever you attack, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on target attacking creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types.
Dang.
Yes. I like this card a lot.
For an energy deck, this card's nuts.
It's even just a Soul Sister, right, Dave?
I don't think it's as good as the Soul Sister. Like, it has the upside of potentially being the energy sink, but this only triggers on your opponent. Or, I'm sorry, this one only triggers on your things, whereas other 1 mana Soul Sister, Soul Warden, and oh my god, why am I blanking on the other one? But the 2 1 mana white creatures, they trigger on every creature entering the battlefield.
I agree, but if you're playing energy, dude, 2 counters on a flying counter, that's nuts.
That is
I mean,
nuts. Especially
it
when
is-
it comes to support, when we're getting more energy support here. This is a fantastic include into anything that's running white energy.
I don't know. I think that this is like, it's a neat card. It's a way for you to be able to tie in energy into like a fringe modern deck with Soul Sisters. That deck has never necessarily been all that good though, and I don't think that this card is really going to be like something that pushes it over the edge. I don't think there would be any other energy producers that would see play in that. So this card kind of just like is dependent upon itself and doesn't really do as much for you there. And then outside of modern, looking like Commander, 2 +1/+1 counters and flying is really not all that great. So I'm fairly low on this card.
Flying's good evasion, but okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on this card. I like this card a lot. Soul's Attendant was the card you're looking for, Dave.
Thank you. I was totally blanking.
But yeah, that was the first rare. Let's move on to another new land. That's right. It is Shifting Woodland. It's a land that enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest. Also has an ability we could tap it to add a green mana. And it has Delirium for 2 and 2 green. Shifting Woodland becomes a copy of target permanent card in your graveyard until end of turn. Activate only if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. This seems very good.
I like this one a lot. Delirium is pretty easy for you to be able to turn on. There's plenty of decks that have the ability to just like start dumping things into their graveyard. So this is pretty good.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it gives itself the mana to put into itself if you want to copy like an enchantment in your graveyard. Doesn't matter if that's tapped.
That's true too. It doesn't have to tap to do it, yeah.
So for any of those decks that kind of pitch certain enchantments that are very expensive, Omniscience, yeah, get it for 4 mana.
Any kind of graveyard deck's gonna love this, I think.
Yeah, I think this slides pretty well in the Tarmogoyf deck too. The Precon one, that's because it cares about card types and graveyards, similar to Tarmogoyf.
True.
This has a lot of flexibility on it, and I think this might be the sought-after rare land of the set, in my opinion, because in the community, this is also being talked up quite a bit. So,
See why?
I don't know if I like this one more than the black one.
why is that?
I'm just a sucker for card advantage.
This is card advantage.
Yeah,
I mean,
graveyard.
Pseudo, yeah.
Yeah, very good. I think you can win a game quicker with this card. Depends on what's in the grave. But yeah, I like it. Moving on to Disruptor Flute. It's 2 generic mana for an artifact. It's got Flash that says, as Disruptor Flute enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name cost 3 more to cast, and activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So kind of a Pithing Needle
Yep, Pithing Needle.
with
Seems like
Flash.
a sideboard card for a modern deck or something.
I don't know about that.
Why not?
I mean, it turns off Planeswalkers.
I mean, it's cute that it has Flash, but it also costs 2. Pithing Needle costs 1.
I get that.
It's a flute.
The tax
is
makes
flute.
it pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if Shane was alluding to, if it's sideboarded in, you play this early, you turn off one of their main pieces for a while.
I definitely don't think you sideboard this one in to play it early. Modern is relatively quick, so like, I don't know. 2 mana for it's cool ability. I still think I would play Pithing Needle in the sideboard over this. And then as far as a game of EDH, I think that there's probably better things that you could be doing. You're only going to hit a single target and maybe just delay them for like a turn or 2.
A turn or 2 costs 3 extra.
Yeah, you can do that in a turn or 2.
Maybe. But I don't know. You also just shut off the activated ability. So if someone's commander has an activated ability, that's shut off too.
I mean, that is true, but like, this is also one of those pieces that like I feel like gets a lot of hate. I don't know. My mind in this is gonna like go to compare it to Nevermore, where it's like you name a card and the card just can't be cast. So in a game of Commander, it's like, yeah, sure, you can like kind of temporarily lock out somebody's commander until they can deal with the card, but those kind of effects, like, I don't know, I feel like they generate a lot of hate, and since this is specifically targeting one player, it kind of does the same thing. Whereas something like a Drannith Magistrate, which has the same kind of thing where it like it's delaying somebody. I don't know. Everybody kind of feels the pain, or all of your opponents feel the pain on that. So I feel like there's more of an incentive to get rid of it. I feel like that just generates like fewer like non-games. This really has the potential of like, if I don't have a way to like deal with this artifact, my deck just could fall apart.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Let's move on to the next one. It's a new legendary. It's Roshin, Roaring Prophet. It's 2, a red and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Giant Shaman. It says when Roshin, Roaring Prophet enters the battlefield, mill 6 cards. You may put a card with X in its mana cost from among them into your hand. It also has another ability that says tap it, reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand. Add 2 colorless mana for each card revealed this way. Spend this mana only on costs that contain X. Yeah, we got a kind of a X spells matter card.
Cool.
Definitely different, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And you're in Gruul, so you're gonna ramp into those high costed spells, and this just helps that.
You got a critical mass of X, and you can reliably put them in your hand and then reliably reveal them to make mana. That's cool. Like, sure, build around it.
I think I'm going to have a lot more to say when it comes to the commander grades video for this one, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that aspect of things. Modern, I don't see this being a thing.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I don't see this being a thing. How about like a limited draft environment?
Even in limited draft, it doesn't really seem like X spells are like too big of a theme here, so I'm going to say probably not even in a limited. You're going to get a 4-mana 4/4 that probably just mills you.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a little bit of like graveyard play, so maybe that could be a good thing. I don't know. I mean, we just saw Land with Delirium, so that could be cool. But I don't know. And you know what? Actually, we are getting some Tarmogoyfs too. So like, there you go. It's got graveyard play shenanigans. That's the upside, is it's milling you.
All right, let's move on then to this next one. It is Sowing Mycospawn. It's 3 and a green for a 3/3 creature, Eldrazi Fungus. It's got Devoid, and it has a kicker of 1 and a colorless. It says when you cast this spell, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle. And when you cast the spell, if it was kicked, exile target land. Is that good enough?
No.
That seems kind of weird.
It's a ramp, and it's also exiling lands.
A ramp,
if it was kicked.
creature, land, exile. Like 3 things.
It is the Eldrazi part of a green card, basically. This is exactly what this is.
I don't know.
Eldrazi
Actually,
green.
So I'm reading this card a second time, and I'm expanding my horizons on this one. So 4 mana, you do get a 3/3 out of it. I don't necessarily like 4 mana, but you get a land card and put it onto the battlefield. It doesn't come in tapped, and it doesn't say basic. So you can go grab whatever kind of like key piece that you want with this. If you want like a Mazaveth, you can go grab that. You can go grab your Cabal Coffers with this card. Your whatever your like fancy land is, you can go and grab that. And then I guess the additional upside here is that like you could potentially kick this to get rid of one of your opponent's lands, and that is exile, so they're probably not getting it back.
Field of the Dead, exiled. Goodbye.
At the same time, though, like 6 mana to do that is a lot.
That seems a little excessive.
Glacial Fortress, goodbye.
Oh, no, that would have been nice, yeah.
Glacial Chasm.
Chasm, yeah.
Although it felt like a fortress.
Yeah. Glacial Chasm, that was quite the land. But yeah, that was all of the rares we're talking about. Like I said, not a lot, but we did have some reprints like Toxic Deluges coming to Modern Day. I know that's one of your favorite board wipes ever.
It is one of my favorite board wipes ever. That and Blasphemous Act just have a special like part in my heart, and obviously I'm not biased. I don't love Rakdos. It's not my favorite color combination or anything.
But yeah, so we know what those cards kind of do. So let's move on to some uncommons that were pretty popular in the community. This first one is Reckless Pyro Surfer. It's 1 and a red for a 2/2 creature human scout. It's got haste and it has landfall. This is whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Reckless Pyro Surfer gains battle cry until end of turn. That's pretty good.
Not a Fire Weaver, it's a Pyro Surfer, dude.
Pyro Surfer, dude, it's surfing on a rock. See that?
Oh, hang loose, dude.
Yeah. Hey, it's a 2 mana 2/2, Shane.
It's a bear.
This seems really good. Am I wrong?
I like this card.
Multiple
card
battle
does.
cries. It gives everything +1/+0 to end of turn
Okay, got it.
when it attacks.
Got it. Yeah, seems
So-
good. It's got Haste.
It does have haste. I don't think that this would be played in. I don't know if this is. I don't think this is a 4 of. It might be. I don't know. This could potentially see modern play. I mean, like whenever I think of burn, you have like Monastery Swift Spear, you have Goblin Guide, so you have your little creatures that are going to be able to get in, and this has the ability to buff them. Plus, this thing has haste, and with that landfall trigger in a format with with fetch lands, that could be really powerful.
I'm saying, man, it's really good.
Righteous.
Righteous. Yeah, this is. I think it's extremely powerful in the right deck. Like, I don't know.
Dude, can you imagine
Landfall
this in
is never
Standard?
broken, right?
It'd be so much fun in Standard, dude.
It would be nuts in Standard. But yeah, let's move on to another uncommon. This is a Signature Slam. It's 2 and a green for an instant that says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then each modified creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control.
I didn't mean to
I know.
audibly laugh during that. That was
This
just
is
seeing the art for the first time made me really laugh.
yeah. Look at him, dude.
It's a
like a
gorilla
wrestling move.
slamming a dinosaur, dude.
Pretty cool.
People's elbow. Sorry, okay.
I do want to know, like, what was the art direction given to the artist here?
Probably the flavor text. A lone dinosaur in gorilla territory doesn't stand a chance. That's
mean-
probably the direction.
No, just like the wonkiness of it is like we need a modified creature and it needs to be a gorilla. So like here, you know what? Put a gorilla and let's
Armor.
just give it like a suit of armor so that it's modified. And yeah, what do gorillas do? I guess they slam things. So like we've got a WWE gorilla. This poor dinosaur.
This card
This
is
is a very good
really
card.
Yeah, I was gonna say this card's
Yeah.
really good though, dude. While you were talking, I just kept reading it. I was like, first part's good. Second part's like, what?
You just basically destroy anything at that point.
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yes.
Very good. Yeah. This
No.
is instant speed. What do you mean no?
It's 3 mana for a fight. Well, it's not 3 mana
It's
for a
not
fight,
a
but it's 3
fight.
mana for a, like a one-sided fight. You know what
For
I'm
a
trying to say.
board fight, dude.
Okay,
entire-
but-
I'm imagining,
Just a wipe a creature.
dude. I'm imagining your
point to
board is
kill
gonna be all
something.
modified, dude.
My argument here being is that this was number one. This is kind of expensive for this style of effect. Like I don't really want to pay 3 mana for this. There are other effects like this that do this at instant speed. And generally speaking, like if you are playing in a deck that has these kinds of cards, you are playing with big creatures. So like if I have a 5/5 and I'm trying to kill a 3/3, I don't need all 4 of my 5/5s to like gang up and kill that 3/3.
It's not necessarily true at all.
I don't think I'm going to need all of my 5/5s to ape slam that 3/3. I don't know. My mind
saying
just
that's
goes
not
with,
necessarily true that this card's only in big style decks.
no. What I'm saying is like primarily I would play these in decks that have bigger powered creatures. Like for example, the Jund fight deck that I made. I can't even remember the name of the commander at this point. I took it apart a little bit ago, but like the commander was like a 7 power creature, and I was like, okay, well because of that, like fight spells are actually fairly good, and like it triggered off of fighting and all that other kind of fun stuff too. So like that was the kind of deck that I would have put this card in, and I don't know if I would have actually put this in that list just because it's 3 mana. And like there's so much competition already that like I would rather have the 1 mana and 2 mana spells that do this kind of similar effect. I don't need the +1/+1 counter, and I don't need the army of things coming in, is what I'm arguing.
Good card's good.
I think it's still a really good card. But is this just Godzilla vs Kong, or
Hopefully not.
we getting a future Universe Beyond set?
God.
I mean, we kind of already got that with Ikoria.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the final card we're talking about. It is a common card. That's right, just a measly old common that people are saying it's probably the card that Gavin alluded to probably getting instant banned in Pauper. It's Cranial Ram. It is a black and a red for an artifact equipment. It is a living weapon. If you guys don't remember, it's when this equipment enters the battlefield, you create a 0/0 black Phyrexian Germ creature token and attach it to it. It says equipped creature gets +X/+1, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Equipped across the 2.
Dude, cranial plating, what's up?
Yeah, it seems very good for a common card. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong.
This one's interesting. Like, obviously, the comparison here is cranial plating. This one is a little bit more restricted to cast. Like, it has the black and red, whereas cranial plating only has the ability of black. But that's also to be able to move it around at instant speed. This one is just like a typical equipment, and that you have to be able to move this around at sorcery speed.
That's true.
I see the comparison, and the buff there can obviously be gigantic.
Do you think it's going to be banned?
I think the cool difference is the fact that you don't need to equip this to anything.
You don't.
Yeah, it comes in.
Yeah, it makes a creature for it to just be equipped, and then whenever the creature dies, you could just equip this onto something else. Is this good enough to be banned? So just flat out, I'll admit, I don't play Pauper. I don't know enough about the format. If there is an artifact deck that can run Rakdos, yeah, this is really good.
I would assume so. Rakdos is pretty good at making treasures and running artifacts. I think, and there's plenty of ways to give your tokens haste too, because that's a token that comes in. So this just comes in and swings for a lot real quick.
Cool card, dude. I like it.
It is a cool card. But yeah, that is going to do it for us today. If you guys liked that video, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Before we wrap up, boys, let's talk about our favorite cards. We will start with David. David, what is your favorite card today?
My favorite card today, I'm actually going to go with the Reckless Pyro Surfer. I think that this one actually does have the potential to see some modern play, and generally speaking, I just think it's a powerful card.
Yeah, it is a very powerful card. Okay, do you have a favorite today?
I made a face because I was about to say the same damn thing.
You guys both like the Pyro Surfer.
I was going to say, hang loose, bruh.
Hang loose. I think I'm going to go... It's almost a tie between the first two we talked about, but I'm going to go and lean toward Guide of Souls. Mono white. It makes kind of angels. Kind of already in that lane. Might as well just keep it going with some energy. Yeah, Guide of Souls. Comment down below, what was your guys' favorite card we talked about today? Once again, if you guys wanted to see all of the spoilers, not just the ones we talked about today, check the link to our Instagram. It's in the description of the video at Guys at Magic for that, as well as all of our other social medias. That's TikTok and Twitter at Guys at Magic for those as well. On the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It means the world to us. If you guys wanted to see what they're seeing, which is not here on YouTube, check the description as well for our Patreon link and consider subscribing. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.